We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Will Michael Saylor stop? No. And that's all you need to know. He is not going to stop bull posting or buying, and he gets more and more aggressive every day. Meanwhile, back at the altcoin ranch, the technical analysis for just about any altcoin you think of hints at a much, much bigger rally. When did that rally start? About 6 hours ago, right around 9 a.m. London time. You are going to see crypto hedge funds, particularly those in the United States, indiscriminately FOMO into anything with liquidity. Last week, we saw every boomer coin you could think of, right? Like Stellar, anything that's a payment network, XRP, anything that you can build on, Polkadot, things that I've been talking about and frankly getting laughed at for a while. Just simply take off. Expect part two. Matter of fact, I'm surprised when I woke up this morning, you actually had more time to get ready. Now, if you want to see the full slate of news, particularly the Michael Saylor, gigabull post that's happening now and is coming, plus the charts of, what could be an old-fashioned Ethereum and XRP-led breakout. You look at long-term charts of certain altcoins like Polkadot's an example, you got it up 40, 50% last week, and you can't even tell on the charts. So if you want to know what to do now, I'll tell you. If you don't have time for the whole show, here's the answer. Do something. Do something. Because when this gets going, it's very likely to get emotional. In other words, you've had this sort of like balanced market so far where it's like some coins go up, some coins go down. Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum suffers, right? Arrow goes up, DGen goes up, market goes down, then DGen catches up. So you've been going back and forth, and everyone's gotten used to that, right? No one is used to the whole thing going all at once. Frankly, in a very emotional format, particularly since, again, U.S. holidays, right? Americans have their dinner. Americans watch football. Americans are half asleep or are asleep on the couch. Boom, you can have 20% moves in one day. This is a good time to remind you that over a weekend in August of this year, you had a 20% drop in coins like Ethereum off some macro event that nobody even remembers. These things can happen in reverse. They can happen again. It was kind of the Labor Day crash, and now it's a situation where people could get extremely emotional. Now, before we welcome everybody, this is a reminder. Subscribe to this channel if you need a roadmap in crypto. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, please hit the like button. All right, let's welcome who's here. We have Alexandra first on the stream from Switzerland. Thomas, CB, SGSG, the OG on this stream. Justin, Kirksville, David, welcome. Some good news, please. We got plenty of good news. Don't worry. Okay, Brad, Riyadh, Eon, Stefan, welcome to the show. Banks 911, Jay Prince, Warmon, Tonya. All right, please take a look at True, Tia, and Adam. Welcome. Railroaded here from the Kaizen crew. Oh, my God. Looks like the boss is here. Good morning. Mr. Relentless, Katya, Arendam, Malik. Welcome to the show. Felix, hit that like button. Okay, let's go. News. Let's go. Okay. Now, as a reminder of what we're all doing here, why are we here? The United States has a debt problem. They borrowed $485 billion like the week before the election to run it up to a fat $36 trillion. There's only one way out of a problem like this. The currency has to go down somehow. If the currency won't go down versus other fiat currencies, it's got to go down versus a commodity. First it was gold, and now it's Bitcoin. Da-da-da. That's it. That's it. Sailors brought this up briefly, but then he went right back to bull posting. This is moving the dollar lower and other currencies higher. Just happens to be a currency people want. End of story. Part two. The only way out of a problem like this, outside the macro thing I just mentioned, is growth. Growth. So what are the two growth engines in the United States? Well, we know about artificial intelligence. We know that, right? NVIDIA is worth more than all of crypto, even with this rally, for goodness sakes. Now, the other growth area, blockchain, right? Remember this stuff? Web3 was a joke. Web3 was a bunch of people in bunny costumes handing out QR codes at ETH Denver for their NFT collections. It became laughable, right? DeFi, they built it 4 years ago. No one did anything with it. Now, banks could simplify the process, right? They're going to build another form of Wall Street. They're going to build another version of the internet. The coins all started taking off, right? I'm like, boomer, boomer, boomer coins. Everyone's like, yeah, whatever. This is happening. They are going to build it. Charles Hoskins is going to get on the tape. He's going to get on Joe Rogan. That's the founder of Cardano. The only way out of this is to build. And of course, the next president of the United States happens to be a guy who likes to build gaudy office buildings and casinos. So why would he not do everything he can to build Web3, like buy 1 million Bitcoin? I don't know where he's going to get that from, but that's what they're going to do. They're going to goose this whole ecosystem to get growth. Now, his agenda is already being resisted by certain components of the Senate. What does that tell you? It tells you how powerful the agenda is and how much it scares, I don't know, the current establishment, right? So you have, senators moving themselves around to try to resist the agenda, at which point Elon reminds everybody the will of the people will prevail. You either, fall in line and do what they voted for, or you will lose your primary election in 2 years. Why is this relevant to crypto? Because if they want to pass the Bitcoin resolution, they want to do the strategic Bitcoin reserve, they're going to do it. They're going to do it, right? In other words, even these guys who are resisting the agenda will be like, okay, yeah, we'll give you the Bitcoin. Just, we'll give you the Bitcoin. That doesn't hurt whoever kind of, has us in their pocket. They're going to do the Bitcoin thing. Elon and Vivek plan to reduce size and scope of the bureaucracy and spending. Again, go back to the 80s. You take capital out of Uncle Sugar's hands, you inject it back into the marketplace, you have growth. Back in the 80s and the 90s, Wall Street exploded. Now, some of that was excess. Some of that created massive jobs. Some of that put New York and New Jersey on the map. In the 70s, when my father started, he could not get anybody to buy one single share of stock in the 70s as a stockbroker. Will you buy one share of stock? No, it's all going to zero. Does that sound familiar? That sounded like crypto 5 days before the election. No one wanted to touch it. Everyone was like, oh, sell it. It's in a range. No, it's not. Not anymore. States and cities are hiding trillions in debt through accounting tricks. Again, folks, Who needs to buy Bitcoin to get out of trouble? Federal government. Who definitely needs to buy Bitcoin to stay out of trouble? State governments, right? They got to get assets on their book that can appreciate in value. They got to get a different currency. They got to do something, because I don't know what they're going to do. People are like, well, this is a rising asset sponsored by the federal government, BlackRock, and Michael Saylor. Let's get in. Now, there are examples throughout history. There are examples like during the gold rush, the state of Alaska wanted to put gold on their books. That didn't exactly turn out good. But again, the size of the debt problem and why are we here? That's just all you have to remember in the event you start to go, gee, is this overbought? No, this is not overbought. If anything, it's under-owned. People may be bullish. Sentiment surveys may be high, but the amount of people that need to own this, they're not as long as you might think. Yeah, smart money crypto is long out the wazoo, but everyone else hasn't gotten there yet. And can you imagine these dinner table conversations over Thanksgiving? We haven't even gotten to the crypto news yet. Okay, Elon Musk reminding you that government overspending causes inflation. In theory, if people save money at the grocery store, it's more money to go into Coinbase or Phantom or wherever they're sending it. They mean business on this, and this includes the strategic agenda. Okay, Senator Ted Cruz, I'm from Texas. The other Texas senator is doing strange things, per mentioned before. Ted is like, we're going to buy Bitcoin. Ted's not exactly the most likable guy in the world, but he's like, yeah, I want Texas to own Bitcoin. And Texas is a huge Bitcoin state, thanks to the communist Chinese. They kicked out all the miners, and where did they go? The great state of Texas. China discovers $83 billion gold reserve. Okay, that's good. Just a reminder, gold is a rock. Not hating on gold, but gold is a rock. Okay. Exclusive, fund manager Bassett scores double on Trump victory. So there was a lot of deliberation as to who was going to be the Treasury Secretary. I'm sure they wanted some super pro Bitcoin guy. Okay, they chose this guy who used to work for Soros. Here's why I think that could be good. I think that in the event of a major problem with, say, the dollar or the stock market, which you are going to see in 2025. Again, why are we here? Nonstop party until February, most likely with a tax loss or sell the fact dip on the inauguration, whatever. This is going to carry on until February. Now, it's good to put this guy in charge. Hopefully he goes along with the Bitcoin thing. But the fact that he worked for Soros knows that he knows how to manage a big problem. Now, the Bitcoin bull posting begins. Okay, Julian Assange's most epic Bitcoin quotes. You should be an early adopter. Your Bitcoins are going to be worth a lot more money one day. 2013. Bitcoin can defend itself or the people who use it against the full might of a superpower. September 2014. I'm sure I could go on. People in the UK, right? You know, you got a lot of stuff going on over there. Think about it. RFKJ, Bitcoin is the currency of freedom. Again, people inside the U.S. government who are traveling on a private jet, eating lunch with the president of the United States, bull posting Bitcoin. It's not just a crypto rally. They actually want the rally. They've been trying to stop it for 10 years with Gensler. Now, they're not only going to stop that, yay, but they're going to goose it. They're going to goose it. They're going to be like, hey, how can we get this going? Oh, look, Bitcoin goes up, so does my popularity. Orange Man's popularity with young people is up 20%. Kids are on TikTok going, you know, maybe this Orange Man thing's not so bad. This is kids, right? Who do you think's going to download Phantom? Who do you think's going to FOMO into Coinbase? Not just my generation, kids. Bitcoin weekly close highest in history. Here's a shocking statement. Who cares? Who cares? Michael Saylor is making it very clear. I think this is going to a 7 or 8 digit price target. You people think 100K is some sort of psychological level. Let me help you with your psychologist. I'm now your psychologist, and we're going to do a Tony Robbins, and we're going to get rid of the limiting beliefs that 100K matters. Because guess what? It doesn't. He's just going to borrow all the stuff, all the money he can. We're going to go into this in depth. We're going to borrow all the money I can, and we're going to blow this thing through 100. And then all of a sudden, retail's going to go, oh, well, at 105, this is cheap. If it's going to 100 and if it's going to $13 million a coin, and that can go on until it gets pretty absurd. And let me tell you something from crypto experience. I started in 2017. I've seen a few cycles. The people in Kaizen have seen a few cycles. When things get absurd, they can get really absurd, meaning the trajectory of the market. We have not seen the parabolic trajectory yet at all. We've seen 3 or 4 green weekly candles. That is not the parabolic trajectory, just so you know. Now, interestingly, Bitcoin fear greed is now at 82. That's still high. It's going to be high. However, it was at 92 when we went home on Friday. Then a bunch of 50x levered margin babies got liquidated, and all of a sudden everybody goes, oh, I'm 10 points less bullish. I'm like, dude, okay, at 92, greed at 92, you can't get 10 points more bullish. But it went down 2 days or 1 day, everyone's like, oh, I'm out. Too scary. I'm like, oh my goodness. People, listen to me. You get red ink for a day, an afternoon, a weekend. Yeah, you got to be on that. Where do you see these charts? If you just got here, don't go anywhere. Okay, here comes Mike. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy, right? 130,000 price increase. July 2002, when I had to write a term paper about MicroStrategy because the market didn't look favorably upon them because of their accounting practices. My 25-page term paper was about how those accounting practices were not so bad. That was the assignment, to flip what the media was saying. Today, it's at $421. It's doubled. Why? Because overseas, if you're a English or European insurance company, you don't have access to Bitcoin. You don't even have access to Bitcoin ETFs, or your funds rules won't allow you to, or whatever. So guess what? What's the only thing you can do? You have to buy a stock that's related to Bitcoin that has tons of volume, because there are rules about that too. Want to know how many crypto stocks meet all of those criteria? 1, MicroStrategy. Also, insurance companies or big players can buy the bonds issued by Michael Saylor. One insurance company bought 25% of the bonds last week. 25% of the offering. Michael Saylor now has access to, I don't know, within reason, untold billions. And the higher Bitcoin goes, the more people may FOMO into the stock. And even if the stock has reached its kind of limit, they're going to FOMO into everything else in the United States, all the other crypto stocks, because they got to catch up. This is called reflexivity. The higher it goes, the higher it goes. The higher it goes, the better it looks, the more people that buy. The higher it goes, the more it improves bullish sentiment, and on and on and on and on. Like in crypto, the saying is the higher it goes, the better the tech, right? This is like a reflexive thing where MicroStrategy goes up and all of a sudden everybody gets bullish and they get more bullish. And they're like, oh no, I have to buy. The have to buy at Wall Street to keep your job, the have to buy, like if you're somewhere in the world and you're like, are we involved in Bitcoin? Yes, sir, I have MicroStrategy, right? MicroStrategy can lead the entire market and give him purchasing power. Okay, just in case you're wondering about this guy, right? His company got in trouble in 2002. He hung on as a software company. Then Bitcoin went up and he was paying 62 and 48. It went to 16. Now it's turning around. So 20 years of accounting problems, and a dead stock. 6 months of watching it sink, his investment, and having to go on podcasts and try to keep people positive about Bitcoin when no one was positive about Bitcoin. Are you doubting this guy's resolve? Are you doubting his ability to single-handedly punch this thing through 100? And what kind of altcoin rally that can trigger? Because again, as said in the beginning part of the stream, the market has not gone up all at once yet. MicroStrategy has acquired 555,000 Bitcoin at 97K. Right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, if he thinks it's at 13 million, 97 is cheap. Celebrities in on it, right? Andrew Tate, I'm brokey, so every time you buy, I'll buy. Reflexivity. Michael Saylor now has $3 billion to buy Bitcoin. MicroStrategy buys another 550,000. Again, you're seeing all this get around. Jim Cramer, the original guy in the market who talks every day, who does get made fun of a lot, but, you know, I have a level of respect for the guy because he has to talk every single day. And when you do that, you're going to be wrong, and he's made a brand of being wrong because everyone pays attention to him when he's wrong. He gets more attention for being wrong. It's unbelievable. Jim Cramer says MicroStrategy is overbought. You didn't hear that part. And he says it's time to just own Bitcoin because MicroStrategy's stock price has gotten so far out of whack versus traditional equity market fundamentals because it's the only thing people can FOMO into. So everyone's worried that Bitcoin's going to go down because Cramer likes it. First of all, that's not what Cramer said. Second of all, the MicroStrategy thing may not stop. Third of all, stop looking for a top. Stop looking for a top. Stop trying to be bearish. Stop it. Look at this. Oh my God. Margin babies liquidated $13 million worth of Bitcoin longs liquidated right into BlackRock's lap. Look at this. 205 million liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in the past 4 hours. Okay, people. So this group has got professional trading advice. If you want to do professional lever trading, please get some help. Please do so responsibly, right? If you're going to an entertainment establishment, right, and you're going to drink or whatever, just hand the keys over to somebody. Don't lose capital doing this because you could put capital in, take very little heat in certain boomer coins and watch them go. The base universe, which this group specializes in, hasn't done anything. You had one coin virtual go up. You had one coin arrow, the DEX on base, reprice itself, right? First it went way up, then it went high, and then it went way low, and now it's kind of back to Goldilocks. Everything is going to take out its high from March, especially in the base universe. When this Coinbase base thing gets to be as big or bigger than the Solana Phantom thing, oh my God, people, forget about it. You're going to have price action that's just stunning. And I think the heat that you can take on these things is limited right now. When things get back to its March high, you're going to have much more volatility. Now they call it your Sharpe ratio, right? How much upside can you get in an orderly fashion without taking a lot of heat? You do meme coins, okay. Meme coins can wind up going to $1 billion, but you're probably going to put up with 340% corrections and possibly 170% correction before it finally goes. I'm not saying don't do meme coins, just saying that the whole rest of the market is about to launch itself, and you may be able to get involved without taking a lot of heat. Now, this is the one chart market update, okay? Last week, Bitcoin spot ETFs. The ETFs bought 34,000 Bitcoin, and only 3,150 were mined. And I saw another tweet that said, Bitcoin, we've only seen 4 Bitcoin halvings, and there are more Bitcoin halvings in the future, a lot more. The only way to get the amount of Bitcoin that people want to buy, that's governments, people, companies, whatever, is to start taking over companies. Like the hedge funds at the start of this year, oh my God, the Bitcoin halving is going to reduce the equity market fundamentals of the miners, and we're going to get short the miners because we're so smart about our equity market analysis. Charles Schwab said 3 months ago, MicroStrategy is rated in a D, one notch below a failure, stock doubles. Stock guys don't get what's going on here. And by the time they do get what's going on here, these crypto stocks are going to be gone. Name any crypto stock: Marathon, Riot, Galaxy Digital, BTBT, Wolf. Forget about it, right? When these guys have to come in, they're going to come in massive quantities. And they might even be short, or they were. So now they went from short to flat. So now they got to go from flat to long now, especially before they go home for the holidays, because I can't possibly be the only person who's going to be talking about, 2017 happening all over again, where Bitcoin went from 10 to 16 over Thanksgiving and then from 16 to 20 over Christmas. This can happen, right? Bitwise CEO, this is the guy I think looking for a Solana ETF. I think we're still early in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin could be the same size as the gold market. This is a challenger asset, which is still maturing. So I don't know if Bitcoin becomes as big as the gold market in terms of market cap, it just results in some huge gaudy price for Bitcoin. Again, everyone thinks Bitcoin can't 10x, right? If you got 1,000x or something like that in NVIDIA, I'll have to Google that later. I think if you bought NVIDIA in 2014, you either got 100x or 1,000x on that stock over 10 years. What are you going to get in Bitcoin over 5 years? What are you going to get in Bitcoin over 5 months? Better start asking yourself these questions. Everyone is talking about MicroStrategy. This stock is up more than every stock in the S&P 500 with just $116 million in quarterly revenue. In fact, MicroStrategy is now up nearly triple as much as NVIDIA year to date. Imagine the cocktail parties. Oh, you know what I did? I bought some more Apple stock. Yeah, Apple stock. Yeah, I just bought some NVIDIA. It's been going up for 3 years, but yeah, I'm in now. Some Bitcoin guy looks at him and goes, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? What is MicroStrategy? Is it a bubble? Probably. But is there any limit to people who are going to stop buying it? Probably not. ETF flows. Again, 4,900 Bitcoin, 27,000 Ethereum. People are going to look at Ethereum in the equity market and go, oh, look, it's kind of a cryptocurrency that hasn't done much. They love this in equities. Like, hey, let's buy what's cheap. Let's buy what hasn't gone up yet. They love that. Let's buy what's underperformed. Seriously, that's what they teach you. They say, okay, at the start of every year, look what's outperformed. Sell that and sell the winners and buy the absolute losers. Rotate every year. Ethereum is a cryptocurrency and a macro asset. If they've mooned Cardano, if XRP is money, so's ETH. That's it. Everyone thinks there has to be some, huge catalyst in ETH. Now, ETH could use a catalyst because of, the amount of press that Solana gets, but people, crypto as money, right? Crypto accepted for Christmas presents and holiday presents in 2026. Is that priced in? I don't think so. Right? Institutions are going to come after this, and the amount of money that can come into the system, you may be tired of hearing me saying it, okay? But I don't think people positions and the price action reflects the story. It doesn't. Here's the thing about the Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin has 32 halvings. We've only seen 4, okay? So they're just going to keep reducing the supply. Good luck finding Bitcoin, okay? Elon Musk, inverse Kramer versus the former Speaker of the House. So every time Kramer says something, the thing goes the other way. Every time Nancy buys something, it goes up. Note Elon Musk posting about markets. How long before Doge, XRP, and Stellar? I saw some tweet over the weekend that whoever is the founder of Stellar is friends with Elon and also has a space company. Inflows into crypto funds. Whoop. Where is all that money going? Inside hedge funds. What are the hedge funds going to do before they go home on Thanksgiving? Oh, you know what? Yeah. Okay. I'm a crypto hedge fund. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. You brought in another 6 billion. Another 1 billion. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We're going to go on vacation for Thanksgiving. We'll get to that later. Are you kidding me? If you're a crypto hedge fund, you have to outperform the market. You have to have better returns than everything that's moving. So you got to buy whatever's liquid, right? They can't necessarily go on Phantom and buy what's the hot meme coin. They got to buy stuff that's liquid. That's why you woke up last week and all these boomer coins were up 50%. And how much more money is going to come in? Right? I mean, this is like FOMO after FOMO after FOMO. Everyone's downloading Phantom, and Coinbase is not at the top of the App Store yet. I mean, what's going to stop this? BlackRock bought $2 billion in Bitcoin this week. You know what? These are nice graphs, and I respect anybody who can read on-chain data. But do you really need that at this point? Right? Like BlackRock knows full well about this, about the 36T problem that we have. Solana flips a giant insurance company in market cap. Tether has minted $15 billion in November. That's legacy money coming in, getting stable coins. That's legacy people using treasury bonds and bills on Ohm or some RWA platform, borrow money against the treasury bonds to FOMO into Bitcoin. And I even saw headlines over the weekend about big banks and big brokerage firms like Cantor Fitzgerald starting to use Bitcoin as collateral, meaning they're allowing clients to borrow against it to speculate or do whatever. Because you got Michael Saylor, BlackRock, and Uncle Sam underneath it. Now, can that go bad? Yeah, at some future point when prices are ridiculous. I don't think we're there yet. I think people think we are because their brain is still in the range. Everybody is still in the range. Everybody is still bearish psychologically. Fear, greed is high, but people are still like, oh, I got to sell. Oh, it's up. Let's get off the train. No, don't get off the train for the sake of getting off the train. You're like, I got to buy holiday presents. Okay. Wow. Look at the P&L on this thing I did. Whew, that's good. That's when you take profits. But you don't look at it and go, well, it's got a couple green candles, so I'll get off the train. No. Solana flips Tether to become the protocol with the most generated fees. Okay, so Solana, they're going to do a Solana ETF. They're going to do an XRP ETF, right? Solana, as I understand, I don't exactly know how it works, but whatever supply of Solana comes onto the market to finance everyone's free trading, if that gets sucked up by an ETF, then where's the supply of Solana? Where's the supply of XRP in an ETF scenario with people FOMOing in? Again, these things are forms of money. They're technology networks. They're trading platforms. Is any of this priced in throughout the broader market? You saw layer ones moving on Friday. What part of this is priced in? Let me give you a hint. None of it. None of it. The Winklevoss twins are legends. They're not exactly the nicest people in the world, but they're superstars now because they bought Bitcoin at 100. And you got to start asking yourself, you know, Cardano at $1, XRP at $1, right? Everyone's like, wow, look at these guys who had all this conviction and bought Bitcoin and held it. Okay. So why are you looking at the market? Why are you looking at the base coins? Why are you staring at the screen, not doing anything? There is a risk to not doing anything between now and Thanksgiving. I mean, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to get 50x levered, but do something. Do something. Just in 3,500 ETH because people got to do something. Do something. Okay. I think that covers do something. Neff is here. Good morning. Neff is here. Jonas. Okay. I wish my uncle had given me a wallet with some ETH. You know what, folks? Bill, news for Doge. Don't have any news for Doge. Let's go to PowerPoint, and then we'll go to requests. Again, don't miss this. Don't miss the requests. Don't miss a thing. Stay with this channel. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. Want to know how many people are talking about this market the way we are? One. Okay, Bitcoin. This is a specialized version of the mark work. Here's the funny news. Bitcoin might actually chill out for a couple of days. Maybe. Okay, maybe. This, to me, this 13 signal is kind of a chill out signal. All it means is that the next round of FOMO is altcoins. Altcoins could go, and then Bitcoin could follow over an illiquid holiday weekend. All this Bitcoin being bought, someone's selling it, someone's short out there. Careful. XRP. If you look at this little dip here could be the prelude to something emotional. Okay. I thought it was going to happen here, and they dipped it. They made this look better, right? Because this could get very emotional. Like you could have 1 or 2 up days of XRP over $2. Don't believe me? This is Lux Algo. These formations are everywhere. They're on daily charts. They're on weekly charts. So you have an expanding triangle, right? Or an accumulation cone. Per the first technical analysis textbook which was the notebook of a famous trader named Jesse Livermore back in the 1920s. The book, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, became the first TA book, except it wasn't really a TA book. It was fictional, right? It was fictional, but it included his trading exploits. This, from his notebook, explained that when you travel in these upward sloping cones, it can be the prelude to a parabolic. This is XRP on an 89-minute chart. So again, this doesn't have a long lifespan, but these formations are everywhere, as we've been detailing here ad nauseum, right? MicroStrategy weekly. Again, the accumulation cone that took 2 years to build, and then boom, we're in this 8, 9, 10 phase where it just goes and goes and goes and goes. So MicroStrategy may be done, maybe not, probably not. AVAX, 89-minute chart. Layer 1 started at 5, went to 60 in March. Everything went from, 5, Avalanche went from 5 to 60 in March on nothing more than a high-powered liquidity injection and the idea that the crypto bull market had started. That's it. Now, you have people telling you, like Elon, that you're free to build about the country. This C chain could be used for security tokens, and no one wants to buy the coin. No one's interested until I don't know, a couple days ago. Lux Algo comes in with a very strong buy signal on the tactical chart. There's an accumulation cone here. There's an accumulation cone everywhere. You're watching this stream 4 or 5 days from now, and this thing is higher, then you know what's going on. You know what's going on. And this thing, these accumulation cones, just in case, just to drive it home, you got one of these things in Ethereum. The top of the cone is at 5,000. So this, if you can follow the mouse, this point over here by the 6 in the bottom left-hand corner, yeah, that's 5,000. And then ETH could go 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. This part in Ethereum hasn't transpired. None of it has. What do you got? 3-4 weeks? And I'm just saying, right? If this has a catalyst, or they start coming after the ETF, or massive institutional money starts coming into the market, they've told you. My famous saying is, you've been told. You've been told by Saylor. You've been told by BlackRock. You've been told by every big insurance company in the world. You have been told. And if this ignites, Even if it doesn't go to 5,000, the whole rest of the altcoin universe, aka Web3, is just going to go up for days or weeks or from now all through Christmas. Everyone's like, ooh, it's Black Friday. Ooh, it's holiday season. Yeah, man. What are you going to shop for? Crypto. Illiquid, thin, holiday conditions. Investment banks wrapping up their year. And guess what? Now they have to figure out how to FOMO in. Normally they're winding it down. Now they got to wind it up. It's a powerful psychology. ETH, 4-hour chart. Okay, just getting started, right? These things count the number of bars in a trend. ETH, A, just started the trend. B, this is when you would get a dip or a pause. C, this could go on for at least 2 or 3 more days in ETH before Bitcoin starts. And of course, this is an example of what happens when you have an accumulation cone. This is OHM. This is where everybody's depositing treasury bills like BlackRock and levering up U.S. government debt. Take a secure asset, deposit it, borrow stable coins. Whoop. This moved before everything else does. I was like, hey, still don't think people are on board. And that is the market update. Okay. Let's see who's here. Okay. DGen, Sui, all our typical friends. So, want to know what Sui did last week? Nothing. SEI caught up. SEI was the mover in March. And if you check this out on, say, a 4-hour chart, it's down. It's down. So, I don't know. Let's pull up a 4-hour chart and just see what we get. And they're selling it. They're selling this thing. I mean, I know that sounds flippant, right? And I'm sure everybody maybe who's long this is moving somewhere else. But, yeah, and this is what I'm looking for. So here's your accumulation cone in Sui. Okay. You get to a resistance point, it comes off. Now, how do you look at it coming off? Well, unless you bought the absolute top, and even if you did, okay, all it's doing is retesting this part of the formation. It's retesting it. It's running stops. It's pushing people out. How long can this go on? I don't know. A day, 2 days, 3 days. They want to hit the market? Good. Start now. Start now. Right? Bitcoin is down. Excellent. Why is it down? Most likely because someone's sitting on it. Someone's sitting on it. You got to look at these retraces and ask yourself, if the decline starts and the market turns up, what happens? What happens? Somebody asking about Cosmos. Okay, so this was up only last week. Naturally, it's coming off because, you know, when you have these kind of coins with bag holders, they get out. This is what happened in XRP. First rally. We used to say this at Morgan Stanley. Retail sells the first rally. So Cosmos on a weekly chart, it's not an accumulation cone. It's a bullish downward sloping wedge. In other words, it's not artificially suppressed, but people have just been giving up. This is just giving up. Boom, buy signal, everybody in, and everyone takes profits. Everyone gets out. It can't go up anymore. That's it. We're in a range. No, we're not. We're not. We're just not. I'm not changing my mind about this at all. At all. Okay, so DGen on Coinbase. Actually, let's go to DGen over here. So everyone's going to try to tell me that DGen is somehow overbought, you know, or I'm worried about it. You know, the whole social-fi thing has not been traded. Like the general public doesn't even know about it. It doesn't even know that you can have decentralized social media. By the way, um, do we need decentralized social media in any countries in Europe, you think? I don't know, man. They're going to put more meme coins on Coinbase, no doubt, some of which this group is putting out and you need to pay attention to. But the only thing DGen has done is unwound its bearish excess since June. So this is also a good example of market goes down one way, the bigger the base, the higher in the space. So painful. So painful. This was like a top coin. Everyone loved it. This is where it went in March. And all that's happened is we've unwound the summer crash. That's it. That's it. We've unwound the summer crash. And then, I don't know, you maybe draw like a fib retracement thing, right? DGen, I don't know. Maybe they could dip it. Maybe. Right. But your upside in DGen is unbelievable because, again, if you assume everything's going to take out its March high, where can this stuff go? Where can it go? Right. I mean, I know that sounds overly simplistic, but sometimes it is simple. And this thing was true. I mean, I looked at this, I think over the weekend. Oh my. Oh my. Let me pull this up. What are they doing in True? Let's look at I think it's the daily chart, maybe. Okay, so this hasn't done much. This is, this is one of these coins. Okay, so this is True Finance, and there's your accumulation cone on a daily chart. And I don't know if there's something bigger on a weekly chart where this thing is just literally sitting and hasn't done anything. So here's another possible cone here. This thing is at its discount zone, meaning I don't want to use the word cheap because that implies valuation, but it hasn't done anything. And it's on Coinbase and it has to do with lending, right? Remember DGen, the bigger the base, the higher in the space. What is this thing doing? Nothing. The 3/4 of the market looks like this. The only thing that doesn't look like this is meme coins. Everything else, you can just scroll through and find dead coins. There's dead coins everywhere, right? Tia woke up, Celestia. So these layer ones, everyone's like, well, such and such layer one doesn't do anything. Okay. Well, such and such layer one. Okay. So Tia was at 20. Now it's at 7. Looks like a big candle, but Lux Algo's now just coming in to buy it. So when you have a momentum system come in and start buying something, okay, what happens? Well, normally you get some sort of pause or dip. Everyone doubts it, and then boom, you wake up, you eat your Thanksgiving dinner. Support is now at $7.70. Everybody's going to sell or everyone's going to get shy. Meanwhile, based on the Elliott wave theory, the minimum rally you should get, even if it's in a bear market, the minimum retracement is the point where the summer capitulation started from. Market crashed over the summer. This hasn't unwound any of that. And everyone's going to tell me that, gee, I can't buy it. It's whatever. No, people. Cowboy hats on. The guys that run this group, they give you something, you best pay attention to it. Now, that doesn't mean FOMO into a $10 million meme coin with your rent. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about asset allocation in a brisk fashion. In other words, start walking around the track. You'll pick up the pace. Okay, Polkadot on a daily basis. Okay, huge rally. Everyone goes, okay, I'm getting out. Let's sell. Right? Wrong. That's Polkadot on a weekly basis. Can you even tell? Can you even tell that it was up? Yeah, a little bit, maybe. Polkadot, 10,000 transactions per second. Polkadot 2.0, almost zero cost. Talked to the guy myself at Consensus. Supposedly BlackRock was talking to them. And even if that may or may not be true, standing at the Polkadot booth, I forgot about this. Standing at the Polkadot booth in April was a young kid at Consensus. This is a big crypto conference in Austin, where I live. And this was a kid who worked for Bank of America. I'm sorry, the Bank of New York, which is a huge custody bank, a huge operation. What was this kid doing? Running around with a notebook, talking to all the projects, getting whatever the, up-to-date news was, and figuring out what the project was. No doubt to go back to Bank of America and quietly report back to the guys in the suits who have no idea what they're doing. Only thing that they know is that they got to get involved. So let's send out this kid to go to the booths. BlackRock does the same thing, right? Slightly more sophisticated, but what's Polkadot? What do you do with it? Oh, you build blockchains of blockchains and you have this whole web. And this thing was up 50% last week because they're going to build Web3. They built it all in 2021 and it was all Fed liquidity and venture capital ramps, which eventually unwound themselves, but it's all already built. It's all there. Elon's like, wow. You built the rocket ship and the launch pad, and all we have to do is put the rocket ship on the launch pad and light the fuse? Are you serious? And we could create a whole industry, Web3, made in America? I mean, how long do you think this is going to be before it hits the tape? By the way, the Orange Man made a DeFi project before the election, and everybody thought it was cringe and a joke. I was a little worried. Do you think these guys are not going to do this? Polkadot, the guy that founded Polkadot, like the guy that founded Cardano, was originally on Team Ethereum. The book is called The Cryptopians. It's this huge textbook of the whole history of Ethereum. They built all this stuff for this purpose. Now, 10 years later, hello, we're here. We're doing it. They're doing it. They're telling you they're going to do it, and no one believes them. No one believes them, which is typical, right? It's obvious they're telling you, but, your brain has been trained the other way. Okay, so Ski Mask Dog, a popular meme coin, okay, doing what popular meme coins do. Retracing substantial portions of the initial pump. Normally, meme coins, I think they retrace 40%, and then they retrace 70% before they go higher. Okay? So this happens. I call it 40, 40, 40, 70. Sometimes you don't get the big move until it retraces 70%. As far as small cap meme coins go, in my opinion, you got to be careful of crypto hedge funds coming in. Because when they come in, they're going to suck capital out of the market. Everyone's doing meme coins. I don't have a problem with meme coins. I don't have a problem with Ski Dog. I don't have a problem with anything. I can show you something that I'm looking at that just can't go up. I'll go into that story in a second. But everyone's on Phantom and everyone should be on Coinbase, right? The market is like catching everybody off guard. Now, I'm sure meme coins are going to have their day when Bitcoin gets boring, but we're not there yet. Bitcoin gets boring in February. That's when everyone's going to turn around and possibly do Ski Dog when all the big stuff has been bid up in crazy fashion. Right now, again, just to give you an idea as to like people don't understand what's happening here. A lot of people want in on Ski Dog. I get it. It's cool. Top guy in this project is into it, right? But there's a MicroStrategy meme coin. Now it happens to trade on ETH. They're trying to bridge it to Solana. I do not own it. I am not recommending it at all because you have to be careful and research these things, but it's down 70%. You get meme coins down 70%. That's when you take a look. That's when you take a look. Okay, Alien Base. Okay, so again, anything on the base network Don't fade it. Don't fade it. So, I mean, you could say that this is the sushi swap of base. I mean, I know that's a boomer way to look at it, but there's Arrow, Velo, and this thing traded in a square consolidation. So when you have these small cap coins, right, trading in square ranges. So there's the 70% correction theory, the 40 and 70% correction theory, and then there's these square ranges. So it trades in a square range. It leaves the square range. It retests the top. Boom. Okay. You know, you got to get this market, this being a metaphor, you got to get this market on retests. You break out, you sit, you got a day. Boom. Or you got 2 days. Boom. That's it. Like, you got to act. You got to act, right? You know, try not to act when it's up 30%, but if they're selling it, act. That's it. Okay, someone's asking about Doge. Okay, now Doge and XRP. I'm going to explain this to you very simply, right? So here's the weekly chart in Doge. This is probably at resistance. Probably. Okay. It's at the highest level it was at since it was listed on Coinbase. Okay. Now with Doge, you know, it's a $60 million market cap coin. Based on Fibonacci circle analysis, you've broken out of the accumulation cone. This is scary. You were sitting on top of it for 2 weeks. This could go to 72 cents. If you have massive market cap expansion in things like Doge, you can have it in XRP. I have a personal TikTok. So my personal social media is very humble. Okay, that's very humble. 22,000 followers in TikTok. I did something called XRP $3,000 based on the recommendation of like a system that recommends videos. And I was just like, yeah, what happens if 300,000 or 3 million or 3 billion people, in theory, put a market order in XRP? What would happen? I did it in a Texas barbecue joint with like, you know, like there was like a bull head and an American flag made out of beer cans. I'm like, let's try this. 1.5 million views. Like fancy hedge funds in their Telegram group are like, look what's going on TikTok. We may not be bullish enough. So if you don't think there are people out there who are looking to hit the green button, you best think again. I think the only thing that's stopping them is the fact that it's up already, which is funny because you go into all these things like the Winklevoss twins, Julian Assange, all these guys, you know, they bought Bitcoin at $100 when 6 months ago it was at $1. Now they're legends. Now, I'm not saying FOMO into some stupid thing, but I am saying that the history of crypto is teaching you that there are things out there that may not be priced properly. And I'm telling you that there are people out there that want in on this. And if they all act at once on Coinbase, this could get silly. So like I said, you got resources, you got people in Kaizen, you got Brian Young, you got all these smart people. My advice is that you listen to them. Now. Now. Okay, people. That is the market update. I will see you tomorrow.